Most people use the default chat for almost everything, but there are actually 8 more tools inside ChatGPT. These aren't random features. They are intentional thinking layers OpenAI designed, each with its own purpose and strengths for different kinds of tasks. So in this video, I will walk you through practical examples that show exactly how using the right tool at the right time can instantly upgrade the quality, accuracy, and speed of everything you do in ChatGPT. Let's dive in. Among all these tools, we'll be focusing on the ones that matter most for everyday productivity. Browser memory, tab search, web search, deep research, and the default chat as the foundation. Agent mode is powerful enough to deserve its own walkthrough, and I've already made a beginner-friendly video where you can build your first small digital product step by step. Link in the description. Let's start with the browser memory tool. It is one of the first steps toward ChatGPT becoming a real AI assistant. It's a lightweight feature that remembers simple details about you and your ongoing work, things like preferences, tone of voice, and active projects, and automatically reuses them across chats. The whole point is to save you from repeating yourself and make ChatGPT more personalized and consistent. It doesn't make ChatGPT smarter, it makes ChatGPT remember you, which is essential if AI is going to adapt to the way you work. Let me show you how this works. I use ChatGPT for recipes all the time, and I have a seafood allergy. I want ChatGPT to remember this so that next time I ask for a recipe, I don't have to explain everything again. To do this, first make sure you've given ChatGPT permissions to use memory. Go to Settings, Personalization, find the Memory section, and turn on Reference Saved Memories. Once memory is enabled, everything is managed in that same panel. Now, if I type, "Remember I have a seafood allergy," ChatGPT confirms that it has updated my memory. You'll see a small updated saved memory link appear above the message. Let's say this is the dietary information I want ChatGPT to keep. It's now stored and I can review, edit, or delete it at any time. So now, the next time I ask ChatGPT for a recipe, I simply select the browser memory tool. For example, I can ask, "I want a recipe for pad thai under 20 minutes. ChatGPT automatically generates a pad thai recipe that matches with all my dietary needs. No seafood, low sugar, lactose-free, high protein. All without me having to mention any of it again. Super convenient. With browser memory, the most important thing is how you manage it. Memory isn't just on or off, it's something you need to curate. If you forget to update a detail, ChatGPT may give widely outdated answers. For example, imagine your boss and your dog both named Leo. If you never updated ChatGPT with this new information, the results can be surprisingly comedic. Because the feature is still early, there's no tagging system yet. So the best way to organize different topics or projects is to add keywords inside the memory message itself. Just like I mentioned in my other video, the clearer you are, the better the AI will use your information. By setting up these small regular memory pieces, you ensure your preferences stay consistent across chats. This is what makes browser memory such a powerful time saver. Tab search is another lightweight but surprisingly practical feature that for now only exists inside ChatGPT Atlas, its AI native browser. It's designed to help you jump straight to the tab you need when you have too many open, especially during information-heavy tasks. In Atlas, it works like a navigation assistant. You type a simple keyword, and Atlas scans your open tabs and suggests the ones that match. The limitation here is that the keywords must appear in the tab title, so you need to remember at least part of the wording on that page. You can trigger tab search with Shift and Command or Control in Windows and A. Then just type a word and Atlas instantly highlights the matching tab so you can jump right to it. Let me show you an example. I'm doing research for a trip to Kyoto and I have multiple pages open. Activities, restaurants, hotels. Instead of checking every tab, I trigger tab search with the Shift plus Command plus A and type night walk. Atlas immediately highlights the page that matches, so I can jump straight to it without digging through the entire row of tabs. Same thing when I want to return to the hotel page in Shizhou, and Atlas finds the tab instantly. It's a very simple tool, but when you are juggling a lot of information, it saves a surprising amount of time, especially for trip planning, product comparison, or any situation where you tend to open a long list of tabs. Now let's look at the more well-developed tools, web search and deep research. Both are information-centric, and while default chat can sometimes feel like it gives you similar insights, these two tools play very different roles. Each one has a specific job. Default chat gives you reasoning, structure, and synthesis, Web search brings in real-time facts in a quick, scannable format. Deep research runs multi-step investigations with structured outputs. Together, they cover every angle of improving information quality. Using the right one at the right moment helps you avoid the two biggest AI issues: answers that sound right but are outdated, answers that are logical but not verified. Let's start with web search. This feature is straightforward. It looks for information on the live web. At first, I wasn't sure why I need it. When I asked the same question in default chat, I still got good information. But after testing both tools, the difference became very clear. It's not just about what answer you get, it's about how the answer is generated. Default chat is understanding first. It interprets your question, reasons through it, and produces a cohesive, structured explanation. It will check reasoned information when needed. And because it's still grounded in its training data, it carries certain biases. It tends to lean toward sources it considers highly trustworthy. For example, if I use a generic prompt about AI news, default chat will often prioritize information from what it sees as high confidence providers, like OpenAI itself. Web search, on the other hand, is retrieval first. It performs a live query every time and returns results in a concise newsletter-style format that's optimized for quick reading. With the exact same prompt, you can see that web search posts directly from the live web. It looks at multiple current sources, which makes it noticeably less biased. Both tools can give you a solid answer, but the real challenge we all face with AI is this. How do you verify an answer when it sounds correct, but you can't tell whether it's outdated, missing context, or confidently wrong? This is where I want to introduce a workflow I use regularly when I need information that's both logical and verified. I call it grounded intelligence. The idea is simple. You combine the strengths of both tools to make the final answer far more reliable. My workflow is process, verify, and then merge. Let me show you what I mean with a real example. Say your task is to gather the latest AI news. First, we gather information in default chat to leverage its logic-first reasoning capability. This is the prompt we use here. Summarize the key forces shaping the AI industry this week, including product launches and partnerships, and explain what trends they reflect. You can see in the answering process that ChatGPT thinks through multiple steps and gives you a structured answer with reasoning, citation, and links at the end. Most people will just stop here. That's fine if it's just for your own reading. But if you need to share this with your team, you probably want to double-check the information quality. And that's where the next step becomes so valuable. In this stage, we verify information in web search. We don't need reasoning. We only want it to verify the information quality. What's true, what's outdated, and what needs correction. I ask AI, now fact-check and update the above summary. Identify which company moves or events actually happened this week, and which claims need correction or clarification. Add 3 to 5 live citations from credible sources. And you'll see the answer focuses on what's correct, what needs clarifying, what's outdated, live citations, and an updated summary. This is exactly what we want, an audit of the detailed answer we got from the default chat. Finally, we combine the two answers into something easy to digest. This step can be done in either default or web search. It's just preferences. Here's the prompt. Now merge the reasoning from the first answer and the verified facts from the second, highlighting what's changed. Present it as a short weekly insight brief. Let's look at the answers. In default mode, the answer is reasoning first again. You get a refined, well-structured weekly summary based on verified information. In web search, the answer becomes more scannable. So this is the 3-step method for gathering information that is both logical and verified. Default chat gives you a structured, thoughtful foundation, like knitting a solid base. Web search validates the facts, removing and adding pieces to ensure the information is accurate. The final merge shapes these materials into something clean and useful, simple, effective, and much more reliable than using any single tool alone. Now let's move on to deep research, the most advanced information analysis tool in ChatGPT. If default chat gives you strong reasoning, and web search focuses on fresh, real-time facts, then deep research is the opposite end of the spectrum. It's a supercharged version of default chat. This is the tool you use when you need ChatGPT to think in multiple steps, check many resources, and produce a structured package of findings, often with tables, summaries, comparisons, and citations. Because the tool is comprehensive and resource-intensive, it has usage limits. So you want to make sure your prompt covers a good level of details upfront. Let me show you an example to highlight Deep Search's process pipeline and how it generates good quality answers. My example here is, which city is best for remote workers in US? With Deep Research, the first step is to give a well-defined prompt. For this task, I structured my prompt by adding the perspectives that matters to me: financial planning, lifestyle preferences, and work environment. This is the exact prompt I used. I start with the financial constraints. This sets realistic boundaries so Deep Research only looks at cities that match my budget. Then I add my lifestyle preferences because that shapes what daily life would actually feel like. And finally, I include the work environment factors so the recommendations align with how I work. Then I select the Deep Research tool and send this prompt. You'll see ChatGPT ask for clarification before starting the investigation. This is intentional. It prevents you from wasting a Deep Research query with missing details. I answer the questions above and provide a bit more information. And now Deep Research will start doing all the work. And the second step is all about watch and observe Deep Research, plan and search. When Deep Research starts, you'll immediately see the activity and sources side window open. You can watch this planning and investigation step by step as it happens. It identifies the key questions it needs to solve, runs live web searches, opens relevant web pages, reads the content, extracts the information it needs. In the source panel, you can see all the links it went through. In my example, Deep Research took 17 minutes, checked 20 different sources, and ran 139 separate searches, all on its own without me doing anything. Once it finishes the entire process, Deep Research synthesizes everything into a structured mini report, something that default chat cannot do on its own. The output includes a comprehensive comparison table, a clear top recommendation based on my criteria. If you click the citations, you can see the highlighted text showing exactly where each claim comes from. The last step is extracting insights. Deep Research gives you a very detailed report-like output, but extracting the right insights from such a dense report is a whole topic on its own. There are several strategies you can use to pull out the information you need quickly and with high quality. But I'll save that for another video, so remember to subscribe. You've now seen how each of these tools work and, more importantly, how they fit together. Browser memory for personalization, tab search for navigation, default chat for reasoning, web search for real-time facts, and Deep Research for multi-step investigation. Most people never go beyond the default chat. But after this video, you are operating at a completely different level. Your workflow becomes more intentional, you know how to make your results more trustworthy, your thinking process becomes clear. This is how ChatGPT is meant to be used as a set of thinking layers, not just one chat box.